30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Catholic Channel. We hope you'll join us.
Now, Sounds from the Spires with Dr. Jennifer Pasquale on the Catholic Channel, Sirius XM 129. The Catholic Channel Sirius XM 129 presents Sounds from the Spires with Dr. Jennifer Pasquale, Music Director of St. Patrick's Cathedral.
And you're listening to Sounds from the Spires on the Catholic Channel of Sirius XM 129. I'm Dr. Jennifer Pasquale, your host. And today we have a very special guest here live, face-to-face at St. Patrick's Cathedral. He's been on our show before, but we always love to have him back. It's Dr. Al Cresci. So thank you for coming into the city across the Hudson from Jersey to be on our program today, Al.
Thank you very much. Great to be with you again.
And happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Your birthday was last week, right?
Yes, it was.
And you had an opportunity to get away, right?
Got away. We went up to Massachusetts for a few days, and we celebrated my birthday up there, and beautiful up there in the Berkshires, but it's nothing like the hustle and bustle of New York City.
Good for you. I'm glad you were able to get away, you and your wife. And was it any cooler?
Probably about 10 degrees cooler.
That's good. And so Al has been on our program before. He is the music director and organist at Our Lady of Pity in Staten Island. And are you originally from Staten Island?
Originally from Brooklyn.
You're originally from Brooklyn. Okay. We'll talk all about Al's life as a musician and educator, if he wants to talk about that. And we have some music that he has recorded that will play today during the program. And it's always a pleasure to see you, Al.
Oh, always a pleasure to see you too, Jennifer.
So how long have you been at Our Lady of Pity now in Staten Island?
About 2.5 years. I was substituting for the previous organist, some funerals, some weddings, a couple of first communions, and she left, and they were knocking at my doorstep so many times, and I finally left where I was, and I came over to Our Lady of Pity, and it's the best church I've ever been in. And I always kid them. I say, this is the best run church I've ever seen. And they laugh at me, and I said, no, I'm not just saying it. I really do believe it. Fantastic staff over there.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. And do you still live in Brooklyn, though?
No, I live in central New Jersey.
Central New Jersey. Okay.
Right. So it's about a half hour, 45 minutes. If the outer bridge cooperates, I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not bad. And shorter than my commute, in a way, sort of. Yeah. It depends on the day, on the traffic. And before that, you were...
I was at St. Joseph's in Highbridge, New Jersey, and before that, Holy Innocents Church in Brooklyn.
How long were you in Highbridge?
I was in Highbridge for 2 years, and I was at Holy Innocents for 42 years. That was my home parish.
Yeah, 42 years.
That was an easy commute, 5-block walk. Yeah.
You almost made it to 50 years.
Almost. Yeah.
And you were responsible for putting the organ in there.
Right, we did a restoration, much smaller than what you're doing here at St. Patrick's, which, by the way, is very exciting. But we did a restoration of a 32-rank E.M. Skinner organ that was just about to fall apart, and I was very fortunate to get a $360,000 grant that totally overhauled that instrument, and we had a big rededication. I was one of the organists, and so were you. I remember what you played, and it was a marvelous day.
Yeah. Special place, and you really built that music program there and made it what it is today. So,
thank you.
Yeah, and you continue on your own legacy at Our Lady of Pity in Staten Island, and you have some great pieces of music here that you've recorded, including your own compositions, which were first improvisations, and then you wrote them down. Tell us about, we're going to play the Buxtehude first. Tell us about the Baroque. You have a number of Baroque pieces here and also some French stuff. Do you love Baroque music? Is that one of your favorites?
I think that goes all the way back to college. A record that I have, I believe it's volume 3 of Bach Organ Favorites that was recorded by E. Powell Biggs. And I fell in love with Bach. I mean,
yeah.
Who wouldn't fall in love with Bach as an organist?
Right, yeah.
And I remember I would listen to the Little Fugue in G minor and the Jig Fugue. That was all part of that record. And that was recorded in the Flintrop in at Harvard,
Okay.
which, by the way, I got a chance to play once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's a tracker. It plays like a dream.
Wow. Yeah.
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 Experience.
And I noticed looking at the details on some of these sound files that you use some of this on your wedding album. You have a wedding album or a demo for
Right.
couples?
I put together a what I call the wedding sampler. And I put a few of these recordings on. Of course, what always gets requested is Schubert's Ave Maria.
Of course.
Most people think that's the only Ave Maria that was ever recorded or ever played. There's like over 200 of them out there in print. And I think one of them you're going to play later on in the program.
Yeah.
And that's a very well-known one, too, by Jacques Orchidel.
Yeah.
Everybody know, all directors know that one.
Right, right. You literally could sing a rosary of Ave Marias and Lord's Prayers, and each one of them would be a different arrangement.
We did that one time. We had a concert with 9 Ave Marias.
Wow.
At Holy Innocents, and it was alumni weekend, so we had some alumni present as well. And all of them were recorded. I made a CD of it. I didn't tell the choir that I was recording. I didn't want to make them nervous. So at the end of it, they said, "Gee, Dr. Cresci, if only you had recorded this." And I said, "You see that little box on the right-hand side of the altar? There it is. We recorded it." So, and they did a splendid job.
Good, good. But let's listen to a little bit of your Buxtehude, or we'll listen to the whole thing. This is the Prelude in C major, and this was recorded at Holy Innocents in Brooklyn. And you just listened to the Prelude in C major by Dietrich Buxtehude, and that was on the Skinner at Holy Innocents in Brooklyn. And our guest today, Dr. Al Cresci, is the organist on the recording. And you are listening to Sounds from the Spires on the Catholic channel of Sirius XM 129. I'm Dr. Jennifer Pasquale, your host, and Dr. Al Cresci is our guest today here live at St. Patrick's Cathedral. I agree with you, Al. It's always so much better to do these interviews face to face. It's not quite the same when you're two-dimensional on a
And it's great. It's great to see you and catch up, too.
That's right.
On the air and off the air.
Exactly. And the first interview you did with me, we were still in the studios, and we haven't returned back since COVID. So
Maybe someday.
Someday, hopefully. Yeah. What do you have going on in this next choral season for you, or music season in your church?
Well, I'll tell you something we just celebrated. We dedicated a statue to soon-to-be St. Carlo Acutis, the first millennial saint.
Yeah.
Our parish manager, Joanne Caleri, really put this whole project together. She obtained the statue. along with some artifacts. We have a couple of relics that Monsignor Gregg, who, by the way, says hello to you. He was one of the people here in the cathedral.
That's right.
And we had 2 trumpets, a harpist, a timpanist, my choir, a couple of people from Holy Innocents that I used to direct, somebody from St. Joseph's that I used to direct, 2 additional singers, one of them you'll hear later, and myself, and it was quite a service. It was about an hour and a half. It was an absolutely beautiful service. That was our big program for this past year.
Yeah.
So coming up, still trying to build the choir. We have a small choir, very dedicated people, but always looking for more people.
Sure.
As most directors are.
That's right.
The organ is it's an Allen MDS 65, which I was always thinking that it's all pipe organ. Electronic organs can't cut it, but that organ it's a beautiful instrument, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you find, Al, that these days, and you've been in several churches in ministry for a long time, do you feel like the commitment level to choir is less these days than it was maybe 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago?
I think the pandemic killed a lot of choirs. I know at Our Lady of Pity, I think they had something like 12 people there. The pandemic kind of frightened people. And to be fair, several of them moved away.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with the pandemic, of
Sure.
course. But we rehearse every 2 weeks. The people love having the choir. The people love hearing the music. It's just a matter of making the commitment, and what I try to do as music director, as most of us do, we try to demystify music.
Yeah.
And music can get very complicated, but you don't have to go over people's head in order to teach them a piece of music. But they should, when they see some notes on the staff, have an idea of the key that it's written in, the range that it has, all of those things, but also to look at the words, because I firmly believe that when you sing the words and you really understand what they're trying to convey, it helps the performance.
Yeah, that's good. And congratulations on your work on building up the choir since the pandemic. I know it's a struggle for everybody, but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yes. Let's take a listen now to the Ave Maria by Arcadelt. And our guest today, Dr. Al Cresci, is singing that along with Gabby Tricorico.
Make your commute something to look forward to with a Sirius XM app. Jumpstart your day with morning headlines, musical motivation, and more.
Doesn't kill you, makes you strong.
It's a beautiful day. And unwind on the way home with hit podcasts and soothing instrumentals. Plus all your favorite live shows, on-demand episodes, and hosts to get you where you need to be.
It's Andy Cohen, Kevin Hart,
Alex Cooper,
Jeff Foxworthy, Conan O'Brien.
Gail King in the house.
Just search Commute on the Sirius XM app.
Howdy, I'm Catherine Whitaker. And every 4th of July, our neighborhood gathers at the end of the cul-de-sac. Everybody wears red, white, and blue, bikes are decorated, and faces are painted. The local fire truck even shows up. We enjoy a parade through the streets until we end at the neighborhood pool with popsicles and ice cream. I've watched kids go from babies on hips to kids on bikes to teenagers sporting their collegiate choice. That gathering of people ranges from newborn to 85, every shade of skin color, different religions, and, I'm sure, different politics. But as we gather every 4th, I'm reminded that we are more alike than we are different, and we live in a country that I still love, even if she needs some work. Make the time to love your neighbor, like really love them, this 4th of July. For more information on how you can apply our big family tips to any season of your own life, follow me on Instagram at Catherine Whitaker TX or at CatherineWhitaker.net.
Conversation with Cardinal Dolan.
For the abortionists, abortion should be completely commendable and virtuous, paid for by taxpayers, with doctors and nurses forced to do it even if it's opposed to their moral convictions, okay? They're not stopping there. They now say, now we must crush anyone who dares to speak up against us.
Conversation with Cardinal Dolan, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. East, only on the Catholic Channel, Sirius XM 129.
And you just listened to Trumpet Voluntary by Clark. And that was from the Vatican. That was a live performance from the Vatican. And just before the break, we listened to the Ave Maria by Jacques Arcadelt, and that was Dr. Al Cresci along with Gabby Tricorio. And you're listening to Sounds from the Spires on the Catholic Channel of Sirius XM 129. I'm Dr. Jennifer Pasquale, your host. And our guest today is Dr. Al Cresci, who is able to play the organ at the Vatican. So tell us about that experience, Al. I mean, that's wild.
Well, first of all, I have to thank Monsignor Greg for getting us a special ticket, and we had the opportunity to meet Pope Francis. It was one of the last audiences that he had. He really wasn't feeling well that day, but we had a fast encounter, and I took a picture of it, and it's something I'll always remember.
Right.
I mean, it was a very special moment. And then thanks to you, you introduced me to the Vatican organist, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Joseph Solecol.
Yes. Perfetto.
And he is a very fine organist, as you know. He was born in Barcelona, and he's been playing there several years. So he invited me to come in and play the postlude at the Vesper service on All Saints' Day.
Okay.
So just to kind of set the scene, here we are at St. Peter's Basilica, the seat of the Catholic Church in the entire world. And he's sliding off the console. He played Salve Regina at the end of Vespers. And I slid on the console, and I played Trumpet Voluntary by Clark. And just to set the scene, I'm sitting at the console. Joseph, the Pope's organist, is behind me. The Sistine Chapel choir is behind him. There's 15, 20 priests who are at it. I think I counted 8 monsignors, 2 bishops, 2 cardinals, and 3,000 people all over the basilica. And I understood it was on Vatican radio too. So no pressure, you know, but I'm sitting there, and I was more excited than nervous. My wife, Elizabeth, was one of the people videotaping it, and the look on her face, I will never forget. She was pale, her mouth was open, she was absolutely terrified for me, but it went very well. And of all things, after I played, and Joseph was so nice, he autographed my copy of my music. We spoke for a few minutes, we left, and then we went to a restaurant, a fine Italian restaurant, just beyond the walls of the Vatican, and the name of the restaurant is Cresci, spelled exactly the same way, Cresci. And I'm sitting there thinking, can this day get any better? The last couple of days was just amazing. So I thank Monsignor Greg, and of course I thank you for connecting me with Joseph. It was a tremendous experience.
No, of course. I mean, if anybody can have that, just those few minutes of that experience sitting in the Vatican, whether it's with the Pope or just a smaller mass, it's just a great feeling to be able to make music in that space, knowing the history and the importance of the seat of the church, the head of the church. Wow, and playing in that architecture.
I still can't believe it, and it was months ago.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll do it again someday.
He said if I was ever around, let him know. And we've stayed in contact. He even sent me a note, wished me happy birthday. I mean, what a gentleman.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's a really nice person. Actually, he's going to be playing here, so you should come back to the concert. He's accompanying a choir on August 5th, so this is a commercial for them. It's the Fondazione Bartolucci. So there's a choir from Rome that's coming here on August 5. That's a Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. here at St. Patrick's Cathedral. It's free and open to the public. The choir is singing, and Joseph Solecol, who we've been talking about, is going to be accompanying them on the organ.
Oh, I have to be here.
Yeah, so come, yeah.
I have to be here.
So, yeah, they wanted me to make that make public announcements about it. So it's the first public announcement I've done here on the program. Thanks to you.
I was here for it.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. And how many days were you in Rome, you and Elizabeth?
We were in Rome for about a week, and then we traveled up to the coast, and we got on a Royal Caribbean cruise liner, and we cruised across the Atlantic.
Oh, I want to do that one of these days.
So we stopped in a couple of places in Spain, one in Portugal, And then next stop, Bayonne, New Jersey. That was quite an experience. It was 7 days on the ocean.
Yeah, nonstop.
It was only kind of one day that was a little rough, but most of the time, very, very good. I met a couple of the singers and on the cruise liner, and our friends told them that I played at the Vatican, and they said I could never do that. Okay. And one of them, I was coming back to Our Lady of Pity, and I was going to sing the Novus Ordo, Mass, the whole Mass in Latin, and one of the singers said, I could never do that. I've heard her saying, I said, I could teach you Latin in about 45 minutes. You could figure it out. I mean, the talent on the ship is tremendous.
Of course. Yeah. That wasn't your first time to Rome, was it?
Second time.
Second time. Okay. Favorite place besides the Vatican and Cresci?
The Colosseum was very interesting.
Yeah.
You think about the craziness that went on there.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting place. The Parthenon, that's an architectural masterpiece.
Yeah.
But the organ at St. Peter's and being at St. Peter's, that eclipses them all.
Yeah, that experience is just, it's wonderful. Did you know that we used to have an American organist there?
Yes, somebody from Los Angeles, I believe, right?
Jim Getcha.
Right.
Who's now passed on, but he was there for a long time. He lived in Italy longer than he lived in the United States. So he is buried outside of Rome. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm great that you had those experiences, Al, and that you can share it with us here today on Sounds from the Spires. And hopefully you'll be able to go back there again and meet Joseph again and play there.
Maybe meet Pope Leo, too.
That's right.
and he's from the United States.
Exactly.
Right?
Just speak English to him.
Right.
Let's take a listen now to more music, and this is Al's chorale on Parce Domine. And just before we play it, Al, just tell us a little bit about the context of this. This was an improvisation, and then you jotted it down. What was the story behind the Parce Domine?
Sitting down at the organ, and I'm not the greatest improviser, but every now and then the Spirit moves me, the Holy Spirit moves me, and it's one of those times that I think I had it. And I usually create that music with the lights a little low, and I can kind of zone in on it. I played it for our Tenebrae service. I usually play 2 pieces before the Tenebrae service at Holy Week, and we usually have Tenebrae on Spy Wednesday. And I wanted to display or demonstrate, I was looking to demonstrate the colors of the organ. So I used the flute stop, I used the chimes to begin it. I feel if you're going to improvise on a hymn theme, you play a little bit of the hymn first,
right,
so people understand exactly what it is, and then work yourself around it and see what you come up with. And I really enjoyed creating that piece, and the people really liked it.
Yeah, nice.
So
yeah,
that's the story.
Yeah, and we have a number of pieces here, so we'll listen to other pieces of Al's a little bit later, but first we'll take a listen to the chorale on Parce Domine.
Patrick Kelly, Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus. A knight is a leader who stands in the breach. We defend the faith. We protect the family. And when a need arises, we rise to meet it with charity, unity, and fraternity. Learn more about membership in the Knights of Columbus at kofc.org/join.
Hey, this is Monsignor Jim Floyd inviting you to tune into Religion and Rock tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. We play great classic rock. We talk about the spirit behind the music. We've been doing this for 35 years. This week's theme is awareness. So give us a try and find God in your life all the time on Religion and Rock tonight at 7 p.m. on the Catholic Channel, Sirius XM.
The spiritual life is sometimes a little bit more complicated than people imagine. Now, granted, the spiritual life is all about living in the spirit of the Lord Jesus, because, let's admit it, there are many spirits out there. But if we truly are taking our spiritual life seriously, it's not just about doing good for others and following the ways of the Lord. It's also about avoiding evil, avoiding sin, and making sure that we are not doing things that are contrary to the law of the Lord. Therefore, the spiritual life requires great discernment, meditating on the Lord's laws day and night, and making sure that we not only follow them, but we also make sure that we don't follow evil. So, do good and avoid evil. For more deliciously deep discussions in bite-sized theology, subscribe to the Father Leo Show on YouTube and join our movement at platinggrace.com.
Hey, I'm Gus Lloyd, host of Seize the Day, weekday mornings on the Catholic Channel, reminding you to tune in whenever you like on the Sirius XM app. Tune in to hear the story of a newly ordained priest, church attendance on vacation, and a whole lot more. Listen whenever you like on the Sirius XM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
Seize the Day with Gus Lloyd. Weekdays 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. East on the Catholic Channel, Sirius XM 129.
And we just listened to The Crucifixion by our guest today, Dr. Al Cresci. And just before the break, we played another of his compositions, the chorale on Parce Domine. And you're listening to Sounds from the Spires on the Catholic channel of Sirius XM 129. I'm Dr. Jennifer Pasquale, your host, and Dr. Al Cresci is our guest today here live at St. Patrick's Cathedral. And Al, you've written them down. Do you plan on publishing them, or are they published already?
No, they're not published, but I have written them down, and if somebody was really interested, they could contact you and you can contact me. But I think what I would like to do this year is examine software that can be used that's kind of like Sibelius, but I would like it to also include the pedal line. I don't really know if it exists. A couple of people told me about some software that they think would work. Has to be programmed, obviously.
Right.
You know, what plays on the right hand, what plays on the left hand, what plays in the pedal. And then I can kind of handwrite the registration.
Sure.
Because in the Parce Domini piece, the registration's really important. Because I was trying to demonstrate all the colors of the organ.
Right. Any plans of more improv and or composition?
I'm always thinking of other things that I can do, and I'm always trying to increase my repertoire of regular organ music.
Right.
Bach, and certainly, and I love the French organ as well. I know I play Berceuse by Louis Vuitton.
That's right.
That's one of the 24 pieces in freestyle. That's an interesting piece too, because it looks pretty simple, but it really isn't. And you have to decide, the copy that I have, you have to decide what goes down to the pedal, because it's not just right hand, left hand. And it has to be very, as all organ pieces, it has to be pretty exact for it to sound good.
Yeah. Do you find that you have more time to practice now than you did when you were a full-time educator, principal?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have an organ at home, an electronic organ at home, but there are many times where I'll go into Our Lady of Pity, nobody's there, and I'll practice. And I love the feel of that organ. It's a very light attack on the keys, and it helps me. For me, it would be more difficult playing a tracker, as I did many years ago at another church. The lighter attack on the keys is just a little simpler, but I practice. Here's my feel on practicing. You can play all the great organ pieces you want, but you also better rehearse the hymns, and you better rehearse the responsorial songs, because when the choir's not there, especially, I play and sing the mass, all the masses. And I have kind of an unwritten rule. There are two kinds of people that perform music: those who have been humbled and those who will be humbled. You know, I never take anything for granted.
Well, it's true. Was it this past Sunday, or maybe it was 2 Sundays ago, I had a responsorial psalm, which I chose months ago, and I saw it in front of me, and like, I'd never seen this one before, and this one sounds a little different than, so I was practicing it silently during the first reading, like, I better get this under my fingers.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. So, good. And, I'm jealous of your ability to practice in silent spaces and having the time to do it. So good for you that
it's hard to do it here at St. Patrick's, because this is the busiest church in the country as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe,
pretty much.
But it's hard to practice because there's always something going on, or devotions, or confessions, or a tour, or there are people trying to shop in the gift shop and they can't hear if the organ is blasting away. But we can practice a little bit at night or very quietly during the day, but there's no practice at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. You just sit down and plop and play.
You made that very clear to me. You'll understand there will be no time to practice. You'll sit down cold turkey and play. And I hadn't played a note since the last Mass I played at Our Lady of Pity before we flew out to Rome. But I said, the Holy Spirit will guide me.
That's right. And he was with you.
Absolutely.
It is very, very warm these days. I think we're going to reach a real feel of over 100 today here in New York City. So we're going to make you feel slightly cooler today by listening to Christmas in July. And to help you feel cooler, this is a little bit of Oh Holy Night by Out of Adam and arranged by Dwight. And Gabby Tricorio, again, is the soloist on Oh Holy Night. So hope you feel cooler. Happy Christmas in July. And you just listened to Oh Holy Night by Out of Adam, arranged by Dwight. And Gabby Tricorio was the soloist, and Al Cresci is the organist on this recording. And that was recorded at Our Lady of Pity in Staten Island. And you're listening to Sounds from the Spires on the Catholic channel of Sirius XM 129. I'm Dr. Jennifer Pasquale, your host, and Dr. Al Cresci is our guest today here at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Yeah, it's a lovely recording, and Gabby, is she one of your cantors, soloists at Our Lady of Pity?
She sings for some special occasions, but she sings in other churches as well. Her mother, Nancy, is very active in the parish. She's one of our lectors, and I know that they will enjoy hearing themselves on Sirius XM.
Yeah, so it's a little halfway to Christmas thing, and help you feel
cooler already.
Yeah. About when, Al, do you start thinking about Christmas when you're preparing your choir or your music?
Around August.
Around August, yeah.
As you do, I'm sure.
Yeah, I try to plan a year ahead of time because this place is so busy. We only have time to execute. We don't have time to plan during the year. So the planning has to happen right now.
I find Christmas the most challenging, even more than Holy Week. When you look at the Easter Vigil in the Catholic liturgy, it's laden with responsorial psalms in the beginning. When you're playing Christmas Eve, we generally perform a carol service of several items, and I know you do that from up front before Pix 11 comes in, and you always start with "O Come Holy Faithful," terrific hymn. But you have all of these other things to do before the service begins. Of course, the Easter Vigil, before Christ our light and so forth, it's silent.
Right.
So I find Christmas, and the Christmas season in general, I just find that more challenging than the Easter Vigil.
Right.
But we have things leading up to it. We have a Palm Sunday service, of course, which is very nice. And I brought Tenebrae back to Our Lady of Pity a couple of years ago. Most people didn't have a clue of what that was all about. And I love having that service.
Yeah.
Father John enjoys it, our pastor. He's a great guy. We've done it 3 times now.
Yeah, nice.
And it's a great prelude to the Easter Triduum, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Christmas seems to be more stressful because it's the secular part of it too. You've got to get everything ready, but the pressure's on to make people happy at Christmas time with all this great music, and there's more of it, it seems. I know that the workload is heavier during Holy Week, but there's a solemnity to it, and I find doing music for Holy Week far more enjoyable than Christmas.
At Christmas, you always end with the Hallelujah Chorus, which is just terrific. And then that wonderful piece by Keith Chapman, Bring It Towards Janetta Isabella. I love that. Someday, maybe, I'll sit down and seriously try to learn that. That is not an easy piece.
Right. You can do it. You should do it. You can do it. I have played that one at the Vatican.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a cool piece.
Yeah.
Al, if there is some place in the world that you want to play an organ that you haven't played yet, what would it be? It's probably a hard question.
No, I think easier than what you might think. I would say Notre Dame. We visited Paris 30 years ago, and they were tuning the organ. Even that was a wonderful experience for me. But now that they've restored it, and what I saw on television, unbelievable. I mean, it looks like St. Patrick's. You know, the stone is beautifully restored to almost white. And very fortunately thank God that the organ was not that badly damaged in the fire. And it just sounds wonderful. Of course, you have Monsieur Latry playing it. Anything he plays sounds great.
That's true. He's wonderful.
Yeah,
and so hopefully one of these days you'll be able to get to Notre Dame as well and play that instrument. Favorite piece of music that you haven't learned yet, but you're itching to learn?
I'll go back to that Keith Chapman piece. I love that piece.
Yeah.
I look forward to that every year when you...
One of us.
One of you play it. Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah. Well, it's been great talking to you, Al, and I appreciate you schlepping in 100-degree weather from New Jersey into New York City. to do Sounds from the Spires, and I know this won't be your last time, but it's always a pleasure to see you and catch up with you.
Thank you for having me back. Third time's the charm, as they say.
There you go. And this one, we talked about your experience in the Vatican, so that was really special, and I'm glad you were able to do that, and that you've made friends in the Vatican, and that you can return someday and enjoy that space again and make music there.
Thank you. Thank you again. Great to be with you.
So we'll finish out the hour by listening to Fly Away. This was improvised and composed by our guest today, Dr. Al Cresci. If you are interested in any of the music that he's composed, you can reach out to me, and then I'll reach out to Al for you and hook you up. Thank you to Dr. Al, and thank you to Robert for editing. And stay tuned next week for Sounds from the Spires on the Catholic channel of Sirius XM 129. Have a great week.
Halo Show with